I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders years ago and screamed, "You're wasting your life trying to please everyone." Back then, I was a people pleaser, bending over backward to make everyone happy. My boss, my friends, even strangers on the internet. I'd say yes to every request, even when my gut screamed no. I thought that's what made me a good person. But it didn't. It left me drained, resentful, and stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. Then I stumbled across Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, and one rule hit me like a freight train: the principle of reciprocity. As Cialdini puts it, we are obligated to give back to others the form of behavior they have first given to us. That single idea flipped my entire mindset upside down. I realized I wasn't just living my life, I was being manipulated by it. Let me take you back to 2019. I was 25, working a dead-end job at a marketing firm, and my life was a mess. I'd stay late at the office because my boss would casually say, "Hey, could you help with this?" And I'd feel this invisible pressure to comply. I'd spend hours on projects that weren't even mine, all because I felt indebted to his small favors, like buying me coffee once. At home, I'd scroll through social media, liking every post, commenting on friends' photos, not because I wanted to, but because I felt I owed them my attention. If someone asked me to run an errand or cover a shift, I'd agree, even if it meant canceling my own plans. Why? Because they'd done something nice for me once, and I felt trapped by this unspoken debt. Cialdini's words haunted me. The rule of reciprocity is one of the most potent weapons of influence. I was a puppet, and reciprocity was pulling the strings. The breaking point came during a family gathering. My cousin asked me to plan her entire wedding: venue, catering, guest list, everything. She'd helped me move into my apartment a year earlier, and she didn't hesitate to remind me of it. I spent weeks stressed out, neglecting my own work, my hobbies, my sleep. I was miserable, and for what? To pay back a favor? That's when I realized I wasn't living for myself. I was living for everyone else's expectations. Cialdini's book made it clear. People use reciprocity, consciously or not, to get what they want. And I was falling for it every single time. I started noticing it everywhere. At work, colleagues would offer small compliments or free snacks, only to ask for a quick favor later. On social media, influencers would give away free tips, but then push you to buy their courses. Even in my dating life, I'd feel guilty saying no to a second date just because someone paid for dinner. It was exhausting. I wasn't in control. I was a slave to this invisible rule. Cialdini explains, the feeling of indebtedness is so powerful that it can make people feel obligated to repay, even when the original favor was unsolicited. That hit me hard. How many times had I said yes to things I didn't want, just because someone did something for me first? But here's the thing. Understanding reciprocity didn't just show me how I was being manipulated, it showed me how to take back control. I started asking myself, why am I saying yes? Is this really what I want, or am I just paying back a debt I didn't ask for? That question became my lifeline. I began setting boundaries. I said no to my boss's extra projects unless they came with a raise. I stopped liking every post on social media just to stay in touch. I even told my cousin I couldn't plan her wedding, and you know what? The world didn't end. I felt free for the first time in years. By 2021, I'd cut my work hours down to focus on what I actually cared about: starting my own freelance business. I used to think saying no would make me selfish, but it didn't. It made me powerful. I was no longer a doormat. I was choosing my life. Cialdini's rule of reciprocity didn't just wake me up. It gave me a framework to understand why people act the way they do and how I could navigate it without losing myself. But I didn't stop there. I didn't just want to protect myself from manipulation. I wanted to use this rule to build better relationships, achieve my goals, and live life on my terms. And that's where the real transformation began. So, there I was, finally waking up to how the rule of reciprocity was running my life. I'd been a pawn in everyone else's game, but now I had a choice: keep letting it control me or turn the tables and use it to my advantage. Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, didn't just show me how to spot manipulation. It gave me a playbook to harness reciprocity for good. As Robert Cialdini says, the rule possesses awesome strength, often producing a yes response to a request that, except for the sense of indebtedness, would have surely been refused. That's the secret. Reciprocity isn't just a trap, it's a tool. And I'm going to show you how to use it in 3 simple steps to transform your relationships, your career, and your entire life. Step 1. Give first, but give smart. I used to think giving meant saying yes to every favor, but that's a rookie mistake. Instead, I started offering small, genuine acts of value without expecting anything in return, at least not immediately. For example, at my freelance gig, I'd share a quick design tip with a client before pitching my services. It wasn't random, it was strategic. I'd pick something small but useful, like a way to improve their website's loading speed. Clients were floored. They felt indebted, not because I asked, but because I'd given them something they valued. Cialdini nails it. The first favor must be meaningful and personalized. I tested this at a networking event. I introduced a colleague to a potential client, no strings attached. 2 weeks later, that colleague referred me to a $10,000 project. That's reciprocity in action. Give something real, and it comes back tenfold. Step 2. Set boundaries before you're asked. This was a game changer for me. I used to get roped into favors because I didn't know how to say no without feeling guilty. Now, I preempt the ask. For instance, when a friend hinted at needing help moving again, I'd say, up front, "Hey, I'd love to help, but I'm swamped this month. Can I hook you up with a great moving service instead?" It's polite, it's helpful, and it shuts down the guilt trip. Cialdini points out that reciprocity only works if you feel in control of the exchange. By setting boundaries early, you're not rejecting the person. You're redirecting the debt. I started doing this at work too. When a coworker offered to cover my lunch, I'd smile and say, "Thanks, but I'm good. I'll get the next one." No debt, no pressure. I was free. Step 3. Amplify the return. Once you've given something meaningful and set your boundaries, you can gently nudge people to reciprocate in ways that align with your goals. I learned this while pitching my freelance services. After sharing those free tips, I'd casually mention, "If you ever need a full website overhaul, I'd love to help you out." No hard sell, just planting the seed. 9 times out of 10, clients would come back ready to hire me. Why? Because I'd already given them value, and they felt good about returning the favor. Cialdini explains, people are more likely to comply when they feel they're repaying a favor. I saw this in my personal life too. When I helped a friend with a resume rewrite, I didn't ask for anything. But a month later, she invited me to a private industry event that landed me my biggest client yet. Here's what's wild. These steps don't just protect you from being manipulated. They make you magnetic. Before, I was the guy who said yes to everything and got nothing back but stress. After applying these steps, my freelance income jumped from $2,000 a month to $8,000 in under a year. My relationships got stronger because I wasn't resentful anymore. I was giving on my terms. I even had time to hit the gym, read 15 books last year, and take weekends off for the first time in forever. Compare that to my old life. 10-hour workdays, constant guilt, and a bank account that barely scraped $500. The difference? I wasn't just reacting to reciprocity, I was mastering it. But it's not enough to know these steps. You have to put them into practice, day in and day out. It's like learning to drive. You don't master it by reading the manual. You do it by getting behind the wheel. The beauty of reciprocity is that it works everywhere. At work, in friendships, even in dating. Want a promotion? Offer your boss a small, thoughtful solution to a problem before asking. Want better connections? Give value without strings attached. The key is consistency. I messed up plenty of times, gave too much, set boundaries too late, but every mistake taught me how to refine this skill. And trust me, once you get the hang of it, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Now you know the secret. The rule of reciprocity, straight out of Influence. The psychology of persuasion isn't just some psychology jargon. It's a life-changing tool that's been hiding in plain sight. I went from being a burned-out people-pleaser, drowning in favors I didn't want to do, to building a freelance career that nets me $8,000 a month, stronger friendships, and a life I actually love. Robert Cialdini said it best. The obligation to receive reduces our ability to choose whom we wish to be indebted to and puts that power in the hands of others. I took that power back, and now it's your turn. You're not just a passenger in your own life anymore. You're the one steering. So, what's stopping you from using this rule to change everything? Start small, but start today. Tonight, when you're scrolling through your phone, try giving first. Maybe send a friend a helpful article or a quick tip that could make their day, but do it on your terms without expecting anything back. Tomorrow, when someone asks you for a favor, set a boundary before you feel trapped. Say, "I'd love to help, but my schedule's tight. Can I suggest something else?" Then watch how people respond when you nudge them toward what you want, like asking a coworker to collaborate on a project after you've shared a useful idea. These aren't tricks. They're ways to build real connections while staying in control. I did it, and it turned my life around. In 2021, I was stuck in a job I hated with no time for myself. By 2023, I was traveling to 3 countries, working half the hours, and earning 4 times as much. That's not magic. That's reciprocity, done right. But here's the catch. Knowing this isn't enough. You have to act. Right now, you're probably thinking, "This sounds great, but will it work for me?" I get it. I doubted it too. I thought I was too busy, too deep in my old habits. But every time I gave smart, set boundaries and nudged people toward my goals, I saw results. My first freelance client came from a single free tip I gave at a coffee shop. My best friend and I grew closer after I stopped saying yes to every favor and started being honest about what I could handle. You don't need a perfect plan, just one step. Try it for a week. Give something small, say no to one thing that doesn't serve you, and ask for something you want. You'll be shocked at how fast things shift. So here's my challenge to you. Take the first step before you go to bed tonight. Maybe it's sharing a resource with a colleague or politely declining a request that's been stressing you out. Then come back here and tell me how it went. Drop a comment below and let me know. What's one favor you're going to say no to this week? Or what's one small thing you'll give to someone to spark reciprocity? I read every comment, and I want to hear your story. If this video flipped a switch in your head like influence did for me, hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping videos every week to share more tools like this. Tools that can help you take control of your life, one step at a time. Don't let another day slip by, feeling like you're living for everyone else. You've got the rule now. Use it. Your life's waiting.